When your dog walks over and calmly takes your seat, it might look like a funny, slightly annoying habit. You stand up for just a second, maybe to grab your phone or a glass of water, and when you come back, there they are. Curled up exactly where you were sitting. Looking comfortable. Looking proud. Looking like they planned it all along. Most people laugh it off and say, "My dog is so naughty." Or, "They're trying to steal my spot." But what if that simple moment is actually your dog speaking to you in the only language they have? Because dogs don't do things randomly. Almost everything they do has meaning, emotion, and intention behind it. And when your dog takes your seat, they're not just being cute. They're trying to tell you something important. Dogs are deeply emotional animals. They experience comfort, anxiety, attachment, love, and even insecurity in ways that are far more complex than many people realize. Your seat is not just a piece of furniture to your dog. It carries your scent, your warmth, your energy. To a dog, smell is memory. Smell is safety. Smell is connection. When your dog lies where you were sitting, they are surrounding themselves with what feels most familiar and calming to them. Your scent is like a blanket to your dog's nervous system. It tells them, you're safe, you're home, you belong. One of the most common reasons a dog takes your seat is comfort and security. Dogs are pack animals by nature. In a pack, closeness means survival. Being near the leader or bonded member brings reassurance. When you leave your seat, even for a moment, your dog may feel a small emotional shift. Not panic, not fear, but a subtle sense of distance. By taking your seat, they're staying close to you in the best way they know how. Even if you're not physically there, your presence still is. Another powerful reason dogs take your seat is emotional bonding. Your dog doesn't see you the way you see other humans. To them, you are family, protector, routine, and emotional anchor all in one. Sitting where you sit is their way of feeling connected to you. It's similar to how dogs often sleep on your clothes, your shoes, or your bed when you're not around. Those items carry your scent, and your scent carries emotional safety. When your dog curls up in your spot, they are choosing closeness over everything else in the room. There's also warmth involved, and not just physical warmth. Yes, dogs enjoy the warmth you leave behind, especially on couches and chairs. But that warmth also symbolizes comfort. Dogs are experts at finding the coziest places because comfort equals relaxation, and relaxation equals trust. If your dog feels safe enough to relax deeply in your seat, that means they trust you completely. They feel emotionally secure in your presence, even when you step away. Some people worry that a dog taking their seat is a sign of dominance. This is one of the most misunderstood ideas in dog behavior. While dominance does exist in certain contexts, a dog taking your seat is rarely about trying to be the boss. In most homes, it has nothing to do with control and everything to do with attachment. Your dog isn't trying to replace you. They're trying to be closer to you. If it were about dominance, you would see other signs like resource guarding, aggression, or refusal to listen. Simply taking your seat, especially calmly, is almost always emotional, not behavioral defiance. In some cases, seat stealing can be a sign of mild separation anxiety. This doesn't mean your dog is severely anxious or distressed. It can be as simple as your dog feeling unsettled when you move away. Sitting in your spot helps them regulate those emotions. Your scent lowers stress hormones in your dog's body. It's soothing. It's grounding. It's familiar. In a world where dogs rely heavily on routine, even small changes can trigger emotional responses. Your dog taking your seat may be their way of coping with that momentary change. There's also a deeper layer of communication happening. Dogs constantly observe us. They learn our habits, routines, and favorite places. Your seat becomes your place, in their mind. By choosing that exact spot, your dog may be saying, "This is where you belong, and I want to be where you are." It's a quiet form of loyalty, a silent message that says, "Where you are feels right to me." Sometimes, dogs take your seat because they see it as the best spot in the house. Dogs are excellent judges of comfort. They notice where the light falls, where the air feels just right, where the view is best. If you always sit in the same place, your dog may associate that spot with relaxation and peace. Over time, they learn, this is a good place to rest. It's not theft, it's learned comfort. Your reaction to this behavior also matters. If you laugh, gently pet them, or sit somewhere else, your dog may see it as a positive interaction. Dogs repeat behaviors that lead to positive outcomes. If taking your seat results in affection or attention, they may do it more often. Not to annoy you, but because they associate that moment with connection. There's also an element of trust and vulnerability. When dogs choose to lie down, especially in a human spot, they are making themselves vulnerable. Lying down means relaxing muscles, lowering alertness, and exposing vital areas. Dogs only do this in places where they feel safe. If your dog takes your seat and lies down peacefully, it's a sign that they feel protected in your environment. They trust you enough to rest deeply in your space. In multi-dog households, this behavior can sometimes reflect social bonding rather than competition. A dog may take your seat to feel closer to the person they're most bonded with, even if other dogs are present. It's not about excluding others. It's about emotional preference. Dogs form strong attachments, and they often choose the person who meets their emotional needs most consistently. It's also important to understand that dogs live in the present moment. They don't think, "This is my hidden seat, I shouldn't sit here." They think, "This place feels good right now." If that place smells like you, feels warm, and represents comfort, it becomes irresistible. Dogs follow feelings, not rules. Sometimes a dog taking your seat can be a subtle request. A request for closeness, attention, or reassurance. Maybe you've been busy. Maybe your routine changed. Maybe your dog senses stress or emotional distance. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to human emotions. They notice tone changes, energy shifts, and mood changes. Taking your seat can be their way of saying, "I want to be close to you. I need you right now." This behavior can also strengthen the bond between you and your dog if you choose to see it that way. Instead of frustration, see it as affection. Instead of annoyance, see it as communication. Your dog isn't trying to inconvenience you. They're trying to connect. That doesn't mean you can't set boundaries. If you don't want your dog on certain furniture, it's okay to gently guide them elsewhere and provide an alternative comfortable spot. Dogs thrive on clarity. What matters is how you respond. Calm guidance builds trust. Harsh reactions create confusion. When you look at it through your dog's eyes, your seat is more than just a chair. It's a symbol of safety. It's a place that smells like love, routine, and belonging. And when your dog chooses that place, they are choosing you. So the next time you stand up and come back to find your dog sitting exactly where you were, pause for a moment. Look at them. Notice how relaxed they are, how comfortable they seem. That moment isn't about disobedience. It's about connection. It's about trust. It's about a bond that doesn't need words. Your dog is telling you, "I feel safe with you. I want to be close to you. Where you are is where I want to be." And that might be one of the most honest expressions of love a dog can give. When a dog chooses closeness over distance, especially in quiet moments, it reveals a kind of loyalty that doesn't need noise, commands, or constant attention. Silent loyalty is not dramatic. It doesn't bark to be seen or demand to be noticed. It exists in the small decisions a dog makes every day. And one of the clearest examples of that is when a dog places itself where you were, not to claim ownership, but to remain connected. Dogs understand space in an emotional way. Physical closeness equals emotional closeness. By choosing your seat, your dog is choosing the emotional center of the room, the place most associated with you. Dogs are observers by nature. Long before they act, they watch. They notice where you relax, where you spend the most time, where your body language softens. Over time, those places become meaningful, not because of the furniture itself, but because of what happens there. Calm conversations, quiet moments, rest, safety. When a dog lies in that space, they are stepping into an emotional imprint. It's not imitation for play. It's alignment. A dog aligning themselves with your emotional footprint is a sign of loyalty that operates below the surface. Silent loyalty also shows restraint. A dog that takes your seat is not demanding interaction. They are not pawing, whining, or pushing. They simply settle. That settling is important. It means the dog is content to feel close without needing more. Many dogs don't need constant petting or praise to feel bonded. They need proximity. They need shared space. Sitting where you sit allows them to feel included even when you are briefly absent. This behavior is rooted in pack instincts. In the wild, pack members rest close together. Distance can mean danger. Proximity means protection and unity. Domestic dogs carry this instinct into human homes. You become their pack. your seat becomes a central resting point. By choosing that space, your dog is placing themselves at the heart of the pack structure. Not above you, not instead of you, but beside you in the most symbolic way they can manage. There is also emotional mirroring involved. Dogs often mirror the behaviors and emotional states of the humans they trust most. If you sit in a certain place to relax, your dog learns that this place equals calm. By resting there, they are mirroring your behavior, reinforcing the shared rhythm of your lives. This mirroring is not conscious imitation. It is emotional synchronization. A dog synchronized with you emotionally will naturally gravitate toward the spaces that represent you. Silent loyalty through closeness also reflects trust during vulnerability. Resting in a human's seat often means curling up, exposing the belly or turning the back to the room. These positions require deep trust. A dog will not do this in a place where they feel threatened or uncertain. Choosing your space to relax shows confidence in the environment you provide. It says your presence, even when not physically there, creates safety. Some dogs choose closeness because they sense emotional shifts. Dogs are highly sensitive to changes in mood, energy, and routine. If you are tired, stressed, or distracted, your dog may seek your space more often. Taking your seat can be their way of maintaining emotional contact when words are absent. They don't analyze the situation. They respond to feeling. Silent loyalty means staying near even when nothing is happening. This behavior is also shaped by consistency. Dogs thrive on predictability. Your seat is predictable. You return to it often. It smells the same. It feels the same. For a dog, predictability equals reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust deepens loyalty. Over time, the seat becomes a symbol of stability. Choosing it is choosing the most reliable emotional anchor in the room. Silent loyalty does not compete. A loyal dog does not feel the need to prove their bond through control or conflict. They don't guard the seat aggressively. They don't resist when asked to move. They simply occupy it until you return. That willingness to move when guided shows that the behavior is not about possession. It is about temporary closeness. A dog confident in the bond does not need to cling tightly. They trust that you will return. This kind of loyalty often goes unnoticed because it is quiet. Humans tend to recognize affection when it is expressive. Tail wagging, jumping, licking. But dogs also communicate love through stillness, through choosing to rest near you, through waiting, through occupying your space gently rather than demanding yours loudly. Silent loyalty is patient. It doesn't rush. It doesn't insist. Over time, this closeness strengthens the bond in subtle ways. Shared spaces become shared emotional territory. Your dog learns that being near you, even indirectly, feels right. That feeling becomes a foundation for trust in other areas. Training becomes easier. Separation becomes less stressful. Communication becomes smoother. Not because of commands but because of emotional understanding. Silent loyalty through closeness is also a reflection of acceptance. Dogs accept us as we are in the moment. Sitting where you were is not about missing you dramatically. It is about accepting your absence calmly, while staying connected. That balance between independence and attachment is a sign of a healthy bond. The dog is not distressed. They are not searching. They are simply choosing connection in the most peaceful way available. This behavior can deepen with age. As dogs mature, their expressions of affection often become quieter. Puppies demand. Adult dogs choose. An adult dog taking your seat is often expressing a mature form of loyalty. One that doesn't need constant reassurance. One that is rooted in shared history and familiarity. Years of routines, shared moments, and mutual understanding condense into small gestures like resting where you were. Silent loyalty is also protective in its own way. By occupying your space, your dog may feel they are maintaining the pack's integrity, holding the place until you return, keeping things as they should be. Dogs do not think in human terms, but they do feel balance. Your absence creates a small imbalance. Taking your seat helps restore it. When dogs choose closeness over distance, they are not asking for recognition. They are simply acting in alignment with their emotional truth. They stay near because it feels right. They choose your space because it feels like home. Silent loyalty is not something a dog announces. It is something they live, quietly, consistently, through simple choices that say more than sound ever could. Furniture in a dog's room is not just an object placed in a room. It becomes meaningful through experience, repetition, and emotion. What humans see as a couch, a chair, or a seat, dogs experience as a location filled with signals. Smell, warmth, routine, and emotional energy all collect there over time. When a dog starts to treat furniture as emotional territory, it is because that space has become associated with safety, comfort, and belonging rather than ownership in a human sense. Dogs rely on scent more than sight to understand their environment. Every time you sit in the same place, your scent layers itself into the fabric. To a dog, that scent is not just information, it is reassurance. It tells them who has been there, how often, and what that presence means. Over time, your seat becomes a strong emotional marker. When a dog chooses that spot, they are choosing familiarity in a world they navigate primarily through smell. Emotional territory forms through repetition. Dogs notice patterns quickly. If a specific piece of furniture is consistently used during calm moments, rest, or bonding, it becomes emotionally charged. A couch where evenings are spent relaxing, a chair where you scroll quietly, or a spot where you often sit with your dog nearby, all become linked to a feeling of peace. Dogs are drawn to places that hold predictable emotional outcomes, and furniture becomes a reliable source of that predictability. Unlike humans, dogs do not separate objects from experiences. The object becomes the experience. The chair is not just a chair. It is where safety happens. It is where calm exists. It is where the pack feels complete. When a dog rests on that furniture, they are stepping into a memory rather than claiming a possession. Emotional territory is about feeling rather than control. This is why dogs often prefer certain pieces of furniture, even when others are available. It is not about comfort alone. It is about emotional association. Two couches may look the same to you, but to a dog, one may feel neutral while the other feels deeply familiar. The difference lies in the emotional history attached to that space. Dogs also use emotional territory to self-soothe. When they feel slightly unsettled, bored, or uncertain, they gravitate toward places that have previously made them feel calm. Furniture associated with their human becomes a grounding point. Lying there can lower stress, regulate emotions, and restore balance. This behavior is especially noticeable during changes in routine, when dogs seek out familiar emotional anchors. In multi-person households, dogs often choose the furniture associated with the person they are most bonded to. This does not mean they love others less. It reflects where they feel most emotionally understood. Emotional territory becomes personalized. A chair might belong emotionally to one person, while another spot belongs to someone else. Dogs navigate these emotional maps quietly, without conflict, guided by attachment rather than rules. Furniture as emotional territory also reflects trust. A dog will not fully relax in a space where they feel uncertain. Curling up, stretching out, or turning their back in a human seat shows confidence in the environment. They trust that nothing bad will happen there. They trust that the space is protected by the presence it represents. Emotional territory is built on trust layered over time. This behavior is often misunderstood as possessiveness. In reality, emotional territory does not involve guarding or aggression. A dog that simply rests in a human's seat and moves willingly when asked is not being possessive. They are participating in shared space. Possession seeks to exclude. Emotional territory seeks to include. The dog is not claiming the furniture against you. They are using it to stay connected to you. Dogs also perceive emotional territory through energy. Humans carry emotional states into spaces. Stress, calm, fatigue all leave subtle impressions. Dogs are sensitive to these shifts. A seat where you feel most relaxed often becomes emotionally attractive to your dog. They seek the energy as much as the scent. This sensitivity allows dogs to choose spaces that support their own emotional balance. As dogs age, emotional territory becomes even more important. Older dogs rely more on familiar spaces to feel secure. Their world becomes smaller, and emotional anchors become stronger. Furniture that once simply smelled like you may now represent stability and continuity. Choosing that space helps them feel grounded in a changing world. Puppies also learn emotional territory early. When they observe where their humans spend time, they begin mapping emotional importance. Sitting near or on those spaces helps them feel included. Over time, this learning solidifies. The furniture becomes part of the dog's emotional landscape, not just the physical layout of the home. Emotional territory can also shift with changes in the household. A new routine, a move, or a new family member can alter which spaces feel safe. Dogs may temporarily choose different furniture as they adjust. This is not confusion. It is adaptation. They are recalibrating their emotional map to match the new environment. When a dog chooses furniture as emotional territory, they are not challenging boundaries. They are expressing connection. They are saying this place matters because you matter. They are choosing a space that feels like belonging rather than isolation. Understanding this changes how the behavior is perceived. What looks like a simple habit becomes a quiet form of emotional communication, rooted in trust, memory, and attachment, unfolding through shared space rather than words.